So the heaters were, you had to individually turn each one on, and 2 of them were broken and were stuck on. When I asked Bill to come in, he came in and replaced the heater knob, and that seemed to work for a little while. It broke again, and he said that it must have been something my kids were doing. At the time, they were 2 and 3. So he said it must be something, and that I needed to repair it. It never got repaired. I didn't have money to do it. So another problem that I had was there were people just coming on and off the property anytime they wanted to. I couldn't get a hold of Bill anytime that I needed to get a hold of him. We had, the washer went out downstairs, and he said that he would get a repairman in. A repairman never came. The upstairs apartment from me was being put up for rent, so they had a cleaner come through, and I guess the pipe broke in the sink, and they never replaced it. And so when the person came in to wash their dishes, a huge hole on my roof was sprouted with water. It leaked down onto my wood floors, and Bill said that, that's not his problem, and then that wasn't, that was the person upstairs that did it. It wasn't him, and just kind of didn't really want to help me. So I plastered the most of it that I could just from getting plaster from Home Depot. My mom was working there currently as a house cleaner / slight little repairs, and she had a lot of problems with not being able to get her checks on time or to be able to get any of those things done. When I left, I deep cleaned the entire apartment. And now I'm being charged for blinds. I'm being charged for the kitchen window being cracked when it was already cracked when I got to it. There were no screens on any of the windows. There was mold growing in my bathroom above my shower that was never taken care of. He told me to spray bleach on it, which I know is not the proper way to clean it off, and he told me that was the only way it was going to come off, and he's not going to send a cleaner to come and do it, and that's not his concern. Anytime I've ever called him afterwards, finding out that he was suing me, that I've tried to speak with him, he refused to speak with me. I've showed up to his office about 3 different times, and I've called his office multiple times. All those times he's sitting there in his office but tells the front desk that that he's not available, and that if I would like to talk to him, that I could talk to his lawyer, which is not a lawyer, it's just a collection agency. He says that he's not willing to work with me with any payments and that he wants it paid in full.
Now, he gave you a portion off your rent because you went in and cleaned Paradigm's offices, is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you know how much he was giving you off or, taking off per hour?
About $150 each time that I cleaned the office, and I was supposed to clean the office every other week. And my rent at the time was $500 a month, and I paid about $340, $350, somewhere around that area, for one time a month, and then less for any other times that I had to come in, and that he'd request for me to come in and clean the office.
Now, this is Bill Caldwell, correct?
Correct.
Now, any of those times that you tried calling, did you ever actually get to speak with him?
I got to speak to him twice. The first time, of course, was during when I was renting for him, just letting him know that I was moving out, and I was going to move out at the end of May, not the end of June when my contract was up. He said that was fine, and he had another person rented in there by the middle of June. There was nothing wrong with the apartment. I mopped my way out of the apartment. Everything was deep cleaned by my mom, who was also a house cleaner for Bill Caldwell. I've contacted multiple times talking to Bill, trying to see what exactly he was charging me for. And he said that, that I would need to contact his lawyer it's just a collection agency. I was also told that, I was just told so many multiple things. I was supposed to get discounts on rent. I wasn't supposed to pay the month of June. I wasn't supposed to, be charged for anything extra. He said, I kept trying to get somebody to come in to do like a final check. And every time I call, they were like, oh, we'll set this point for this time, never show up, set up for this time, never show up. And after like the fourth time, I was just like, okay, well, I walked into the office and they just moved into their new office. I turned in the keys, turned in everything, and just said, like I've been moved out for about 2 weeks now, and I'd really like to, just get a walkthrough. And they said they would get to me as soon as they can. They never called me back. They've always had my phone number. My phone number's been the same this entire time. I didn't find out they were suing me until like a year and a half, 2 years later. And it was just on my credit report. There was nothing, no phone calls, no, hey, we found this, or no paperwork, nothing. It just all of a sudden showed my credit report. I called them, and he's like, I can't believe that I hate it when tenants don't realize that they owe last month's rent. I was like, well, we agreed that I wouldn't have to pay the month of June because I moved out early and because the place was clean, and you said not to worry about it, and so I didn't worry about it, and now I'm being charged for all of this. And he called me stupid, told me that I needed to realize that I needed to pay these bills, and this is like a adult thing to do. And I was always, if I wasn't on time with rent was paid with the additional charge. I was always trying to keep up on what I needed to keep up on. And my electricity bills were, like I said, $500 a month. So you're paying $500 for rent, a little under $500 in rent, and then you're paying $500 a month for just electricity that he knew about multiple times. I repeated, like, I can't pay rent this month because I have to pay electricity or my electricity is going to get shut off. No remorse, no anything, just, well, you need to pay your rent. That's what's important. You can't have electricity if you don't have a house. And these were things that he would tell me all the time, and I'm just like, if you could help me out, or, if there's something that I could do, if there's more work I could do to help pay for more rent. And he was like, no, and we'll see about the electricity if you can send me in statements. I sent him in the last 3 months of statements. One electricity bill was over $1,000. I think it was the month of December. And I told him, I sent it into him, and I was like, it's $1,000. I can't even afford rent right now. I have to pay this high electricity bill. And I went to Heat, and they told me that this was ridiculous, that I needed to talk to my owner. They've never even seen an electricity bill so high. Every time I called to make a payment for the electricity bill, the person that was on the phone was outraged. How could you possibly pay that much for one apartment? And the wood floors, every part of that wood floor was bad. There was water damage everywhere. The carpets had no padding underneath them. There was a hole in my son and daughter's room underneath the carpet that if you stepped on it would make a dent with your foot. The walls weren't clean. Nothing was clean. Everything was filthy when I moved in. And he said that he had a cleaning person come in and do it. And when I asked him if I could do like a lower deposit to be able to clean the place, he said that he'd see what he could do. And nothing ever got done about that. And I just...
When you moved into your next place, did your electricity bills, did the bills drop?
Yeah, I went down to like $50 a month, $60 a month during the winter time.
And you had tried contacting the owner about that?
Yeah, I tried to contact the owner. Bill said that he was the, what do they call it?
Property manager.
Yeah, the property manager, and that if I had a problem to call him and discuss it with him, and that the owner was out of state or something like that, or on vacation or whatever. Every time I tried to get a hold of him, asked him like if there was a way that I could talk to the owner just to see like if there were certain things that we can do, and he was like, no, if you want to talk to anybody, you talk to me.
Now, you didn't live at the 23rd Street Apartments.
No, I did not.
Where did you live?
2535 Madison Avenue, apartment 1.
Okay, because it sounds like the wiring was possibly bad in that, and it sounds like a very similar story to Tina Poe's, where her electricity bills are for almost $500 a month.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just hope that whatever ends up happening, that Bill just realized that you can't prey on single mothers. You can't hurt people like that and get money from people like that just because we're in a tough time and we're trying to get our lives straightened out, and you're gonna prey on us. It's not fair. It's not fair to anybody, and I hope he realizes what a crappy thing that he's doing to all of us. That's all I have to say about him.
All right. Thank you so much.